The nigga Pop was like, yeah, like first he was amping him to get stopped. Then he was like, yo, so when we gonna get the chance to, to kick it, like we can just hang out, nigga. We gotta kick it.
This is
Pause.
Okay.
He telling me we gotta kick it, and he's like, yo, why don't we like go shopping or something? I mean, like I pay for it. And I was like, what the f this son? I got the f away from him, but I was like, this nigga was telling me he'd take me shopping. And this is goes on. So there's a little fruit pile. It's a fruit pile. Trust me. You see these little weird ass pictures and shit like that out there, sitting out there for no reason. You don't see accident pictures when you're like kissing niggas. Like that doesn't happen by accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you.
Yes,
I'm telling you. Look, later you're gonna find out a little shit I'll be saying be real. Do you understand what I'm saying? Man, listen, I'm trying to tell you the truth. But the truth, sometimes it hurts.
Right.
It hurts people and they don't want to hear that shit. But I'm trying to tell you, ask me, could he take me shopping?
There have been some serious allegations and stories about Diddy, and the things people are saying are shocking. One person shared how Diddy pushed boundaries with his behavior, from acting overly confident to being physical with people around him, including his artists and even producers. At one point, he allegedly made an uncomfortable suggestion to hang out and go shopping, making the situation seem suspicious. The person felt it was odd and quickly distanced themselves, sensing something wasn't right. These kinds of stories have surfaced about Diddy for years, painting a picture of a man whose rise to fame was marked by tension, intimidation, and controversial actions. Diddy started as a radio intern and eventually built his empire with Bad Boy Records, signing major artists like Notorious B.I.G., Faith Evans, and Mary J. Blige. But the path to success wasn't clean. One of the key events that brought attention to Diddy's influence was the tragic stampede at a celebrity basketball game he helped organize. It took place at City College of New York, and the event went horribly wrong, resulting in 9 deaths. The mayor at the time criticized the organizers, highlighting the issue of oversold tickets and the lack of experience in handling such an event. Despite such scandals, Diddy's career took off. However, his public image wasn't without controversy. There have been numerous allegations of violence and criminal behavior, and while Diddy has managed to maintain his success and reshape his public image, those issues continue to follow him. Mark Curry, a former artist with Bad Boy, shared his own experiences with Diddy, noting that Diddy could be arrogant to the point of being spiteful. He recalled witnessing violent outbursts, not just towards men, but also women and people with...
Did I see these kind of things in his actions when I knew him or when I was around him? Did I see him have those bursts of violence? Just not on, you'd be like, he did it. You seen that? It was another video. He won some, he just over cocky. That's why he got fired from Uptown. He's over, what do you call someone who's overly confident? To the point to where it's called arrogance. Right? He's arrogant. Nothing wrong with being arrogant, but when you're arrogant and you do it in spiteful ways, then, so when I seen that and I reflect, and I'm like, man, I do remember seeing him be being physically violent towards females. I seen him be physically violent towards producers or other record execs, even artists. Always those kind of stories, man. But those stories are seen from the inside out, not from the outside in. So it's just like, sometimes you can tell, as a man, you'd be like, look, we're going to need a fair one or we a one-on-one. A fair one-on-one, and we fight as men so we can come to a resolution, right? So sometimes we fight as men, but you see that sometimes they fight. They keep fighting. They fighting with women. They fighting with people. They fighting with love. They fighting with they self. I seen him fight with his own self. I seen him be violent to his own self. Forget anybody else. I seen him beat his own self up.
What you mean by that?
Meaning you putting yourself through so much stuff. You beating your own self up. You bringing yourself down with whatever kind of things you need at that time, whether it be alcohol, whether it be pills or whatever it is that you need. Sometimes people get addicted to pills. And when they get addicted to pills, that it alters the ego. All of that kind of stuff, devices. I seen it all, man.
And you said that you seen him get physical with his own artists?
Meaning like producers, mainly the hitmen. Mainly the producers. And what I mean by physical, it'd be like sometimes it might be a physical fight between him and someone else. And you say, wow, you're fighting even with your own artists. You're fighting when you go home. You're fighting with people in your office. You're fighting with your girlfriend. You're fighting with me. You just want to fight everybody, don't you? That's what, when you think of that name, that might be what he defines bad boy. It's really about that energy that he feels like what makes him. That's what makes him.
Within his own team. Curry mentioned that he saw Diddy act physically violent with females and others in the industry, reflecting a pattern of aggression. Curry also mentioned that Diddy's struggles weren't just about fighting others. He saw Diddy fighting with himself. Diddy seemed to put himself through a lot of pain, and whether it was alcohol, pills, or something else, he was dealing with inner battles. It's a reminder that sometimes people's outward actions are a result of deeper, personal struggles. When people get addicted to pills, it changes them. It affects their ego and their behavior. I've seen it all, and one thing that stood out to me is how Diddy got...
I was thinking to myself the other day, Uptown Records started by Andre Harrell, Abby Shea, Abby Sue, and Kim was the longest working employee. She was there from the very beginning. She was Andre's person. Kim's there. Abby was there. Andre Harrell was there. The only two left, Puffy was Al, and Al almost. You know this?
That is it.
Heavy D was found dead, face down, and heart attack. Andre Harrell, heart attack. Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. They have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms. And then right after that, Al had a meeting, and I was going to meet up with him because we were in Vegas, and he was going, no. You want to know what they all had in common, though? The survivors and the late of Uptown Records, they were all writing tell-all books. Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And Al B. Sure was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes and pulls. Has Puffy ever been in a coma? Has anything happened to him? He must be the luckiest mother. It seems like everybody that worked at Uptown Records from the very beginning. That's him. I guess Al disappointed. It's before when you see this bull, some games with people that you love, that you like, that you, too many coincidences.
Too many. You.
Honeycomb.
Oh. Stamp it.
We're gonna get you and your little dog, too.
Is how Diddy got physical with his own artists, especially his producers and people around him. It was more than just a disagreement or a verbal argument. Sometimes it escalated to physical fights. He'd fight with his artists, fight with people in his office, fight with his girlfriend, and even with me. It seemed like he just wanted to fight everyone. That's what the bad boy brand became known for, this constant energy of conflict and aggression. Diddy seemed to think that this kind of energy helped him rise to the top. His rise to prominence happened during the infamous East Coast versus West Coast rivalry in the 90s, a defining moment in hip-hop. That era, filled with tension and violence, saw the tragic deaths of Biggie and Tupac. Although Diddy was never directly involved in their deaths, the rumors and conspiracy theories about the circumstances of their murders continue to surround him. Despite all the controversy, Diddy's career kept growing. Jaguar Wright had a strong opinion on how Diddy reached his level of success. She reflected on how Uptown Records, which started with Andre Harrell, played a huge part in Diddy's journey. Andre Harrell and the people close to him had interesting and, frankly, disturbing connections.
Now, however, according to this woman, she says that she's been telling this story consistently for years, but there's been a cover-up. And if we've learned anything from the Cassie story and the recent allegations and other lawsuits, it seems as if Diddy has a pattern of threatening people and cover-up. And she literally says that he had to end up paying her for that incident. Again, as always, these are allegations. I just want to play what she says for you, because a lot of people are saying she's been saying the same story for a very long time. A lot of this has been covered up, and this is why the public doesn't know about her story.
Hey, how you doing? So, here today about this latest lawsuit with the P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Puffy, Sean Puffy Combs, whatever you want to call him, lawsuit that has come out involving the producer Little Rod. So basically his last two lawsuits, or last two major lawsuits, the one with Cassie, she made mention that Puffy made her carry his guns into nightclubs and wherever they went. And he threatened her to make her feel like she had to do so. And while there were lots of things of importance, that stood out to me. And I'm going to tell you why. In this lawsuit with the producer Little Rod, they were both SA'd by him and threatened and physically harmed. But in this lawsuit, he appears to be a very young producer to me. But he said something very specific. As a means of threatening him, Puffy said, that's why I shot up the club in New York back in 1999 and let Shine take the fall for it. Let me tell you why that's of utmost importance to me. Because I am the woman who he shot in the face in that 1999, December 27th, 1999, Club New York shooting. The bullet, I got shot in my face with a 9mm hollow point bullet called a cop killer. I literally have told everyone and never changed what I said. I watched him. I got pow-powed in the face. I watched him fire the gun. I've said it all this time. Even the surgeon who did my surgery to take out part of the bullet fragments that was aspirating into my lung and try to remove as many bullet fragments as possible testified in the criminal trial that while they were putting me under, I was screaming, Puffy, pew pew me in the face. He testified in the criminal trial. It is in the record. They all knew he did it. Everybody knew he did it. But he paid off the club bouncer named Sharice and all these other people and the club owners with their video to hide the video. That's his MO. I told everybody that. This man almost took my life, has traumatized my life, has caused undue harm, irreparable damage to my life, lied his behind off. I've had all these youngins on the internet seeing me, swearing that I'm making it up that he did it. And look what he did to Little Rod. He threatened him. Oh, you don't think I bust my gun? I shot up the club in Club New York and let Shine take the fall for it. I shot them people. Well. It only took 24 whole years for it to come out. You see this tattoo? This commemorates me getting shot. It took 24 years for him to come out and say it. I've been saying it all along, but y'all pick and choose who y'all want to believe. Oh, baby, you ain't seen nothing yet. Not only did he pew me in the face, he also set off a course of harassment against me for the past 24 years. When I tell you the things I went through, there was a time in 2017 and 2018 where I got 7 flats on my BMW. 7, the same tire, in a 2-year span. 7. You see this RICO charge that's about to come? This conspiring and pew-pewing up the club and ruining or attempting to ruin my life? As God as my witness, I will not stop until you suffer every single iota of punishment, until I have every second of recompense that you took from me. For every tear that I had to cry, or my children had to cry, I am going to get $1 million back from you. I will not stop until you pay the price for what you did to my life. And for all you people out there in the internet and in cyberspace and in the far reaches of my life or the perimeters or wherever, who always like, oh, she just saying that to get some. Hell, what you got to say now? What you got to say now? I had some youngins on the internet that ain't even old enough, that weren't even alive when it happened, arguing me down, cussing me out, calling me everything but a child of God. Go check Instagram. It's there. Harassing my life. Harassing me. Oh, you lying. He ain't do that to you. You just want clout. You just chasing clout. What is that to chase clout about? How is that clout chase worthy? It doesn't even make sense. Well, I guess it will make sense in this new generation. But you better believe I will have my say.
For example, Kim Porter, Diddy's former partner, died from pneumonia, but there's a first coroner's report suggesting that her death was actually a homicide and that she had been poisoned. Poisons can cause symptoms like heart attacks and pneumonia, which is exactly what happened to Kim. What's even more unsettling is that many of the key people associated with Uptown Records, Andre Harrell, Heavy D, Kim Porter, and others, were all working on books or documentaries about their lives before they died. Andre Harrell was writing a book, Heavy D was working on his, and Kim Porter had plans to write one too. Even Al B. Sure was working on a documentary about himself before his death. It raises the question, why were so many people connected to Uptown Records involved in these projects before they died under such mysterious circumstances? It's almost as if everyone around Diddy had something to say or reveal, but something happened to stop them from sharing it. The coincidences are hard to ignore, and many believe these events point to a darker side of Diddy's success.